I grew up in Burma camp all my life. And I've seen something that is terribly dangerous. It is so dangerous. If we are not careful, we are losing our armed forces. This is the diagram that I put together. It's called the civilization of the military. In the days when I lived in Burma camp, this is the Ghana Armed Forces. The Ghana Armed Forces inside the barracks had its own schools. I attended one of them. Great school. It had its own market. I've been there so many times. They call it soldier market. And there's everything there. There is nane. Do you know nane? Nane is the pig's feet, the one they can use for jollof. It can be very nice. They sell nane at the Burma camp market. There's shop. It's called Gaffy. It's like Max Mart or those departmental kind of shops. It's there. It's right there in Burma camp. Subsidized. And there's hospital. I'll show you some of the photographs. So I lived in Burma Villas, number 27 Burma Villas. I'll never forget. My telephone number was 3304. Now 27 Burma Villas, okay. From number 27 Burma Villas to the school I attended called Garrison Primary School, it's a walking distance. It's 5-6 minutes walk. When my father, who was a soldier, wakes up in the morning and he's preparing his stuff, he doesn't think about how I will go to school. It's not part of his thinking. I will just walk to school. He knows that I will. If I am ready, when he's ready, he just might drop me in front of the school and then he will continue to his office. When I'm standing in my school, I can see my father's office. When my father is in his office, he can see the school. When I move a little bit away from the school, I can see my house. It was the same for all my friends. We all like that. Those of you who live in Burma Villas, you go to Garrison Primary or Kotoka Primary. And then those who live in Labadi Villas will go to Services Primary. Those who live in Arakan will go to Forces Primary. Those who live in Air Force will go to Air Force Primary. And the schools were so good that we could come out of these schools and go to Presec and compete with the people who went to Morningstar and all of these that are bad schools. We could do that because the soldiers made sure that the school was good. Today, it's not the same. Colleagues of mine that I went to Garrison Primary with who have become military officers, some of my colleagues are brigadier generals right now. I don't want to mention their names. They can't take their children to the same schools that we went to. They have to take their children to the civilian school that's more expensive. And that's where we are losing our military. The hospital was there. Let me show you some of the photographs. Okay. So, these are the schools. Okay. That's the entrance to my school, Garrison Primary School. It's still there. P.O. Box 243, Burma Camp Accra. This is the entrance. You can't see the school well, but it's nicer than this. But, this is the entrance. This is Garrison Primary School, where I studied. Then this is Services Primary School, where my younger sister studied. This is Services Primary School. It's there. And then this is Air Force Base Primary School. This is it. It's still there. It's there. This is Douala Hospital. Now, this Douala Hospital, many of you don't know it. You know 37. No, 37 is tertiary. Douala Hospital was the hospital that when we get malaria and we are sick and they take us to Douala. It's inside Burma camp. You don't see it. So the soldiers had a way of working that they don't need to spend like the civilians. They have a shop, they have a market. But today, Garrison Primary School is not functioning the same way it's functioning. It used to function. If I am an army officer today of the rank of colonel, like my colleagues in the Burma camp, they don't take their children to Services Primary School anymore because Services Primary School can no longer compete with Morningstar, it cannot compete with Soul Clinic, and it cannot compete with Richard School. We used to compete with them. So good was the competition. I'll show you something else. Here, this is Christ the King School. We could compete with them and even beat them. We go to Presec with them. We go to St. Augustine's. Many other people went to Garrison Primary School, are scientists, they are doctors in America. They are all over the place. Even beauty pageant. Girls from Burma camp were winning Miss Ghana. Should I mention their names? Maybe they don't want me to mention their names. But girls we grew up with were winning Miss Ghana. They go from Services Primary School. They are in Wesley Girls. They are in St. Rosie's. They are in Holy Child. They are going to University of Ghana. They win Miss Ghana. That is how Burma camp was. Today, it's not like that anymore. The soldier must take his child to Christ the King and take his child to Morningstar and go and pay a hefty fees to reach the school. I had a teacher who taught me, who used to live with us. He's called Mr. Ofair. I'm sure he doesn't mind me mentioning his name. Mr. Ofair today teaches at Morningstar School. Many years ago, he called me. He said he saw me on TV. He was very excited, asking where's my mother, blah, blah, blah. And they always ask that question. Mr. Ofair teaches at Morningstar School. Mr. Ofair. Mr. Asante, who was my teacher in primary school, today is teaching at Christ the King. Why can't Mr. Asante continue to teach at Garrison the way he taught? He was a great teacher. He's still a fantastic teacher. He's teaching at Christ. He's now teaching at Christ the King. I see him and I said, Mr. Sante, where are you? So I'm in Christ the King. He couldn't, the Burma camp could not hold him. There's something that is getting wrong with our military, and we must look at it carefully. Otherwise, we are losing the military. If we make the military civilian, when I was a kid growing up, you don't see soldiers in town sitting in trotro. No way. No way. That should never happen. A soldier, then he's at 37, then the trotro has come, then he's wearing camouflage. I look at the thing and I'm mortified. What is this? Where did our military go? What has happened to the... That's why sometimes I miss J.J. Rawlings. What has happened to the military? Military people come to Burma camp, they take off their clothes and they come to the civilian. If you see soldiers in town, they are waiting for a military truck that will pick all of them and go. So they don't join, they look at the trotro, they don't join it. If there's a quarrel, they can settle it. They are not interested in the trotro. A military truck will come and pick them. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? We really need to make sure that our military is going back to the days where it was an independent military. It doesn't have to come to town to come and get bread and come to Maxmart, and the market in Burma camp doesn't have this, so they are coming to town. The schools are not good, so they are coming to town. The Douala hospital doesn't have malaria pills, so they are coming to town. Soldiers should not need to come to town. So good were the schools in Burma camp that high-profile government officials brought their children there. And I can say this because their children were in my class. Justice D.F. Annan, he was the number 2 person in the PNDC. Justice Annan brought his children to Garrison Primary School. I think they were in Morning Star or something like that. Because Garrison Primary School was as good as Morning Star, it was as good as Christ the King, it was as good as Red Church. So Justice Annan brought his children there. Miss Joyce Ayi brought her son to Burma Camp Secondary School. Alhaji Mumuni Baumia, he brought his son to Burma Camp School. His name is Yakubu Baumia. These days they call him Jake. I sat in the same classroom with Yakubu Baumia. His father was Mumuni Baumia. My father was Major Ochiri. It didn't matter because Garrison Primary School was a very good school. Garrison Primary School is still there. The question, Sefakai was in Garrison Primary School. Patrick Ban, he's a scientist in America. He was in Garrison Primary School. Mensa Wood's children, they were in Garrison Primary School. Everybody was in services and Garrison and Forces and Air Force. Bridget Jugbenuku, she was in Forces Primary School. So what has happened is very, very dangerous and it's very, very serious. If we don't retool our military so that the military forces can stay in Burma camp, why is military recruiting and we can see it? Why should we see it? Military is recruiting at Elwak and we are all, hey, soldier. Why? Military is recruiting and it is in all of us, it's on our phones. Ghana has been embarrassed, the whole world. Everybody's asking. Military recruiting and it's a conversation, everybody is seeing it. I don't even want people to know I'm being recruited in the military. So you see, they are standing in the queue. When you're looking at them, they turn. Have you noticed? When you're looking at them, they turn away. Military is recruiting. We are doing it in the heart of the capital. And we are everybody is there. Hey, just soldier. Military is a distinguished service. It's a distinguished career. We shouldn't know when military is recruiting. There should be some trucks that is driving them into Burma camp. They pick them from somewhere. They could have put all of them at the Legon Stadium. You know you are expecting 21,000 people. The Team Fojo will deal with those things. You know you're expecting 21,000 people. They could have put them at the Legon Stadium. Each day, 5,000. Drive them to Burma camp, to the Air Force Station. You can drive them to Military Academy, to the square, and put them there. So all we'll see is buses wheeling some people somewhere. What is military is recruiting and we are all inside. And people are filming and filming what? The DPR has a television setup. They should be the only people to film these things. Nobody should be allowed to bring mobile phone in there. This is about the military. It's not military for me, for you. It's Ghana Armed Forces. We should get serious in this country. Democracy doesn't mean we should undermine the military. It is key and critical that we get this thing right. I'll leave it here.